Guys, I'm not ashamed to admit when I did something wrong, and it's all back together, so it worked out pretty well. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we are continuing working on our 1997 Coral Sunbird boat. It's if you followed along with the series, or if you haven't yet, I'll leave a link to the playlist down below and the other videos we've done covering the restoration progress up to this point. We finally got some decent weather, so we're back out working on it today again. If you want to, please subscribe to the channel, follow along, see where we're starting, and hopefully where we end up when we get this thing in the water and back to life again. But today we hope to be doing a simple, quick video to show you the fuel primer solenoid valve kit replacement. So this thing, if you followed along in my last video, again, I'll link it all down below. We got the engine fired up. I won't go into a lot of detail. You can check them out. We got the engine fired up and it's running, but it's running under choke. So the electronic choke from the key and everything up front. But in order to do that, it shoots fuel through the primer solenoid into the carburetors to keep it running. Well, this one is cracked. The primer solenoid little valve switch is cracked. I'll show you all that. So it's spewing fuel out into the engine and the motor and into the boat with the cover off, so that's probably not a good idea. So in this video I've ordered the part. We're going to take it apart, show you what it looks like cracked, hopefully get it replaced very quickly and easily. Then we can proceed with the rest of the engine restoration and making sure this thing's running like a champ. So I'll leave a link to the part down below so you can see where I got it. It was not expensive, I think. Don't quote me, I'll go back and look, but I think it was like $8 or $10. It wasn't expensive at all. So I'll leave a link to that below, and we'll get this cover off, show you what's going on, the damaged part and what we got to do. And so yeah, follow along with the boat series. Again, if you want to subscribe, please do so. I'd appreciate it hugely. And we're doing the boat restoration series. We do all kinds of other stuff on the channel, car upgrades, racing, travel, hobbies, all kinds of stuff like that. Might find something else you want to stick around for. But anyway, let's jump into it, show you what we got going on, the problem, and then what we're going to do to fix it. So here is a close-up of the part I'm talking about. Here's the fuel solenoid primer system. So again, you can use the choke up there on the key when you start it, and it will inject fuel into the carburetors and help it get started. And this red piece, you can see, has a crack. And I just turned it right then, and fuel spilled out everywhere from when I was working on this last time. So that cracked piece is letting fuel come out. So we've got to get this loose. And then I've got the pieces to replace this top lid, the red piece, and all of this with a new gasket. So we just got to get this loose and then back in the garage, and we can work on it from there. So first things first, is I got the motor lowered down so we can get to it and turn, and then I got to cut this zip tie that's got all the wires and some of these tubings secured to the solenoid here. So I got to get rid of it, and then now we can move these wires out the way. There's one screw right here in the front, and you can't really see it. It's not really a good angle. You can see it, yeah, back through there, if I could get it to focus back there, and I'm hoping that's it, and this thing will kind of let loose and I can pull it out. It's going to have, of course, some fuel lines connected to the back side of it, so we can't just rip it right out, but I'm hoping that's it, and we can pull those fuel lines off, and then we'll have it out. All right, so not bad at all to get the thing out. So again, there's the solenoid. You can see again, there's the crack in it. So that's the problem with the fuel spilling out everywhere. There is a gasket on this side, rubber gasket, that plugs into that hole right there. So that's where that goes into, and there's where the screw was, and I think, yeah, you can see the other screw hole back there, and then there's the two wires that it hooks to, and up here there's our two little rubber fuel lines that plug into it. So you got to be real careful taking this thing apart, because you see those two little pieces that it hooks to right there, they're pretty tiny. So you could snap that off. Again, they're made into the lid, so we'll go check our new package out, make sure it all looks the same. But yeah, there's the piece, the wires. Now, word of caution. I believe these are stainless steel, of course, so they're not magnetized. And I dropped one down in there and couldn't hardly get to it. So finally fished it out with some needle nose pliers, but it's kind of hard to get to that back screw from up under here to get to it. Can't really see it that way. So anyway, just be kind of cautious with that one. And then it pops right out. So not too bad. So let's get it on our workbench and take a look at it. All right, so we got everything on the workbench finally. So here is a much closer look at the crack in our manual valve here. You can see it, and that's where all the gas was spewing out. Here is our service kit. I'll put the link to this down below, so if you're interested in picking up one of these. Here's our new valve. There's the new cover, and there's another close-up look of those two tiny pieces. You want to be real careful with those so you don't snap those off. And then the new gasket that goes in it too. And you can see underneath this cover how it diverts the fuel to both of these outlets when you use the switch and to the carburetors and whatnot. But anyway, there's our solenoid. We've got to get these 4 screws loose. It did come with some instructions, so that was nice too. So in here, this is more about changing this from a maintenance valve. So I'll show you, you can take this cover off and you can actually insert or inject like winterization products and stuff into the motor through this valve. So these instructions are a little bit more geared towards changing this from a standard valve to a maintenance valve with the Schrader valve and the cap on it and whatnot. But we already have that. It's just broke, so we got to get it apart and see if we can replace it. That came off. It was just stuck. Obviously, you would think after almost 30 years it'd be stuck a little bit, but the gasket was just stuck, so didn't have to pry it off. Just pushed on it with some force, and then you can see that thing. You want to be really careful with that. I don't know how easy it is to break, but that's it. So we just got to take this thing apart and put the new one. Here's the new one. Got to put it together. There's the new gasket. We'll replace that one. And so now we'll try to put it back together and see if it'll go on there. All right, I put a little bit of oil on that O-ring that came on the new one, and then just slid it right into the new cover and twisted just a little bit, and it went right in. So now we've got to get this new gasket to sit on there, center it up a little bit better, to sit on there and then go back down on this piece here. Okay, so that went surprisingly well. I took the little cap off here, just like a bicycle tire, your valve stem on your car or whatnot. It's got this little Schrader valve or whatnot. Like I said, you can inject winterization or fuel system stuff or cleaner into this and then shoot it into the cylinders or the carburetors or whatnot. But yeah, you would want to be real careful taking this off. So the instructions say if you're just replacing this valve right here, you can loosen the screws. You don't have to take the cover all the way off. And what that does is, you saw the little white pin for the solenoid sticks into this center hole here. So if you tried to yank this out without taking that loose or whatnot, you'd probably break the top off of that white plastic pin in the solenoid. So you wouldn't want to do that. So take it all the way off, or at least get enough slack in it where you can twist it and that also has a little groove in it, and you can push that pin down, or in my case, just take the whole thing off and then you can stick it back down. You just align the gasket like you saw in the video, and it's got 4 little alignment tabs or holes in the top of the gasket, so it sets right down in there. That pin goes through the center. Then you set this in there and screw it down. I didn't snug it all the way up to start with. I just got it just about snug, and then I was able to, you can rotate this counterclockwise to kind of lock it back in place, and everything's working just fine now. So you can rotate it to the start position and it stops, and then you can rotate it back to the run position and it stops there. And so, yeah, we're good to go. We'll probably, it didn't come with any new O-rings for this side, which I didn't think so, but these look like they're in real good shape. They're not dry rotted or cracked, so we're good there. Now we just got to put that little cap back on and install it back in the boat, and that should be one problem solved. You can see where there's kind of like a manufacturing process seam right here on this side, maybe the way they mold these or put them together. And I'm thinking maybe that's why this one cracked where it did. Maybe this is a common problem on these things. But anyway, we're good to go. Now we just got to get it back in the boat. Guys, I'm not ashamed to admit when I did something wrong. Guys, I put the top on wrong. I put it on sideways the wrong way. So I went to go install it in the boat. And this piece obviously has to go back into the where it gets fuel from, and I realized that I had the thing on sideways, so I had to come back in, take it apart. Thankfully everything stayed in place. Just popped the 4 bolts right back out, rotated it 90 degrees the other way so I can actually get to it when it's installed properly, and now we're good to go. Tested it out, so now let's go install it back in the boat. So I've got it back installed. We've got our fuel lines connected to the back of it. We've got our screw in the front. It's plugged into the side here with the gasket. I've got to hook the wires back up and put my zip tie up. But there is a bolt, or excuse me, a screw that goes in this back side that you can barely get to without taking something apart to get up in there. And of course, these being stainless steel bolts, they aren't magnetized. So what I did was I got me a piece of electrical tape, and I taped the screw to the end of the screwdriver so I can reach in there without it falling off. So we're going to try that, and then we'll be able to plug it back up and be done. And it's all back together, so it worked out pretty well. It's plugged in back down here again. We've got our zip tie for our wires and everything good to go. That screw in the back, which you can't really see now, maybe up in there somewhere. The tape trick actually worked pretty well, so got that back in. Everything's good to go. We've got it, it's working like it's supposed to, and so now we can fire it up and run it like we need to. All right, guys, and with that, we're all done with another maintenance project on the boat. So if you, again, have followed this or have subscribed or following along with the boat restoration project, we have a long road to go. I'm not, oh, okay, don't look, it's ugly. And so this is just one step in a long list of steps that we had to complete so we could get the engine running like it's supposed to. So we've got that checked off the list now, all back together. Next step is in the mail, currently on the way. So it is the impeller replacement kit. So if you followed or watched one of the previous videos, I'll link the playlist down below for everything if you want to check it out and kind of pick up from square one. But the motor wasn't peeing or shooting any water out for the coolant system. So I've gotten some feedback, some comments from you guys, and I appreciate every single one of them, because this is going to be a fun, long, interesting project, but keep them coming. So, but anyway, it's not shooting any water out. So it is almost 30 years old, or somewhere around there, 27 something years old. I don't know, but it's old. And so I figured the impeller kit was about 60 bucks. Very cheap insurance to just take the foot of this motor off, get it in the garage, tear it apart, and replace that impeller. Make sure nothing's broken in there, because the last thing we want to do is try to restore this motor and then overheat it and damage something else in the process. So that's coming up in the next video. I appreciate it if you made it this far. If you got any questions, leave them down below. I'll answer everything for you guys if I possibly can. Leave a thumbs up if you thought the video was helpful or found it interesting at all. Again, just a real quick video to show you how easy it was to snatch this thing out, replace that broken part, put it back together, and we're on to the next thing on the checklist. So hit subscribe if you want to follow. Leave me a comment, like, and I appreciate you being here. Have a great day. Catch you in the next one. Bye.